Like I'm going insane. Give a nigga a break. Give a nigga a break. How much more can I take?
What is going on here? Why are these guys messing up so badly? Okay, hold on a second. IGN, come with me, because we need to talk. Your reviews are getting worse and worse every year. It's as if you're trying to mess this up. Let's take a look at some of the things that you've reviewed this year. Let's talk about Concord. Wow, you gave Concord a 7. You said that Concord was good, and from looking at your video, you even said that it has the stuff to go forward for even years to come.
Hopefully the live service roadmap will do its thing and show this promising shooter the love it needs to become something truly special. But right now, it's at least good enough for me to recommend trying out.
Really? Your roadmap? I wonder how Concord's roadmap is doing. Oh god, look at that. Oh, it got shut down. Concord got shut down. You're 7 out of 10. A good game. One that you hoped would thrive, IGN. Hit was shut down within 2 weeks. Yikes. Let's move on to another great IGN review. While looking at your Transformers 1 review, I've noticed that you constantly are insulting the action, all the puns, the comedy in the movie, and practically the whole thing. And at the end, you had the gall to call Transformers 1 mediocre.
Though the tragedy of Optimus Prime and Megatron's storied rivalry could have felt larger than life, Transformers 1 is mostly content with half-hearted puns and barely legible Cybertronian battles that could have used some major transforming before, say it with me, rolling out.
Look, that's Starscream!
Mother, did we watch the same movie? Transformers 1 is so good. All the action in that movie, just fine. I'm not sure what you guys are smoking. This should have been such an obvious 8 or 9 out of 10. Transformers 1 is such a fun, great movie for adults and kids. Yet here you are, IGN, somehow f***ing it up. The next shitty review we're going to talk about is one that I'm definitely not biased toward. One that I can definitely say I'm impartial, and I'm not worried. One that I can say is purely objective. How could you give Dragon Ball Sparking Zero a 7 out of 10? I understand you think it's just good, but it's not just good. It's phenomenal. There is no other game that can make you feel like a true Dragon Ball Z fighter than Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
Clever, and the addition of tools to attempt to create your own stories could elevate the experiment even further if a community can figure out.
And don't you dare mark this game down just because it's imbalanced. Bitch, it's supposed to be imbalanced. It's Dragon Ball. We want to fight as the weakest character versus Ultra Instinct Goku. That fight should be hard. It shouldn't be easy. This is the only fighting game that should be imbalanced and welcome with imbalancy.
Living a story that was foundational to my youth, looking and sounding as great as I remember it, with the opportunity to alter it in sometimes dramatic new ways is clever, and the addition of tools to attempt to create your own stories.
It's very interesting. What's your name? Let me look at the reviewer. Jarrett? Is that so, Jarrett? You're a Dragon Ball fan? You very much enjoyed these epic battles? They too made you feel like a kid again. Wow, Jarrett. Then why'd you give it a 7, Jarrett? Why'd you give it a 7? Should have been 8.5, 9, perhaps even 10 out of 10. But here you are talking about how you enjoyed the imbalances of Sparking Zero, because games don't have to be balanced to be fun. But a 7. This one I'm personally offended by. Next, let's talk about something I'm a little bit more passionate for. Something that breaks my heart a little bit more. Star Wars. I love Star Wars. Star Wars is probably one of my favorite franchises of all time. I grew up loving Star Wars, and I respect the hell out of Star Wars. So when I heard they had a new show, an entirely new show, just for the period of time before the prequels, I was so stoked. Oh my god, I was so excited. I didn't care about all the announcements. People were focusing on the lead actress and all that stuff. I didn't care. It was awesome. I was excited. I love more Star Wars content, more Star Wars lore. But holy shit, did I have to watch Star Wars burn. My God, did this show break my heart. I wanted to like it so bad, but by the third and fourth episode, it just ruined everything for me. It went from probably an 8 out of 10 after the first 2 episodes, all the way to a 2 out of 10 for me. But no, IGN had to give it a 6 out of 10.
So it's failed to coalesce into something that truly shines.
A 6 meaning, oh, it's just okay? No, it's not just okay. The Acolyte completely destroyed lore, completely retextualized certain events that happened in the prequels that we really didn't need. Why? Why, Disney? Sorry, I'm not about to turn this into a whole Star Wars Acolyte hate video. It's fine. I think the actresses and actors did a great job. I just really disagreed with the story and the writing. That's all. I think it was pretty bad. How about we move on to something a little bit different? This next one almost flew under my radar, but my research for this video brought my attention to it. I can't find a video of it, but I did find your online article, IGN, your little article that reviewed Sausage Party Foodtopia, an 8 out of 10. Did we watch the same thing? Sausage Party Foodtopia was so hard to sit through. I watched all of it in Discord, streaming with all my friends. We sat there, we watched it, and we were mortified by the end of it after all 8 episodes. Sausage Party Foodtopia is not an 8 out of 10. That deserves something below a 1. That deserves to go to hell and rot. That is footage that I don't think anyone on this planet should ever see. Sausage Party Foodtopia is a sin against God himself. Otherwise, I will say it made me chuckle a few times. Let's move on to the next one. Now, let's talk about another show that came out this year that is certainly a 10 out of 10. Something that has had me on the edge of my seat. Something that is f***ing phenomenal. And IGN gave it a 5 out of 10. I think you all know what I'm about to bring up. The Penguin was such a great show on Max. Oh my God, it had me on the edge of my seat. Everything we wanted. Oh God, IGN, how badly could you fuck up? Upon watching your review, it seems like your only issue is that there were so many good characters in Penguin that it pulled the spotlight away from Penguin himself, which is fucking crazy. Every character in Penguin is so well thought out, so deep, but the characters are so interesting. And this tug of war between the Falcons and Penguin himself. I'm not going to spoil anything. I'm not saying shit because you need to watch it. It's a very good crime show. It is much more than just a Batman show, but it shows you why Penguin is the Penguin. And I think IGN has been missing the point of the show. So, how about let's move on. Oh, and one last thing about the Penguin. You also complain that it's not The Sopranos. Could you shut the fuck up? Let a show be on its own. You don't have to compare everything. I don't compare Dexter to Breaking Bad. They're 2 different shows. I don't compare Better Call Saul to Breaking Bad. It's in the same universe. Still 2 different shows. If you wanted The Sopranos, go watch The Sopranos. This was Penguin, brother. And Penguin is hot. I mean, just look at him and all those prosthetics. Oh. Let's talk about something you gave an 8 out of 10. This one is probably the one I care the least about, because I did not see it. So I'm gonna give my opinion very blankly, because maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is an 8 out of 10. But have any of you sitting here watching this video sat down to watch Agatha All Along? Yeah, that MCU show about the witch from WandaVision. Have any of you seen it? No? I didn't think so. I'm not saying that it's a bad show, but it got an 8 out of 10. So either maybe IGN is cooking and I missed something, or they just really are missing the mark and misunderstanding certain medias. And as I'm watching your review, you're also not too nice to the show, calling it quote-unquote uneven and at times frustrating in your review. But you also say that it has a cast of colorful characters, so maybe you're right and I'm wrong. This is the one thing I did not prepare myself ahead of time before making this video. And I kind of wish I did. Maybe this IGN review is convincing me. Maybe this is a good show. But at the same time, I just haven't heard anyone talk about it. Not that a show needs to be talked about to be good. That is so incorrect. There's plenty of things that go under the radar. It's just, I'm not sure who asked for Agatha All Along. And maybe that's what I'm trying to get at. But There is one more thing I want to talk about, and I think it's one of your greatest sins, especially as a company that has, or I should say a network that has gaming in its own f***ing name. Let's talk about how you reviewed the little mini-series on Amazon Prime that just came out, an anthology. And I'm not sure IGN knows what an anthology is. But let's talk about Secret Level. I want you to know, your review of Secret Level is what made me want to make this video, because it made me so angry. You talked about, oh, we don't have enough time to flesh out all these characters. Are you shitting me? Love, Death, and Robots is known for making amazing stories within 10 minutes of runtime. Do you understand how hard it is to build a emotional connection within 10 minutes of runtime? No. You misunderstand. I know you think these episodes were too short and didn't feel bloated and there was too much action. These are all your own words, right? Well, let me tell you, IGN, this was a whole series about video games. And I'm sorry to inform you, did you know the video games that they covered, like Warhammer, Sifu, Armored Core, have action in those games, in fighting? I know it's hard to believe, but they really do. And I think you're completely wrong in the sense that they did not accomplish what they wanted to within 10 minutes. I f***ing disagree with you wholeheartedly. IGN, this is a huge miss, because Secret Level, each episode felt special in its own way. You felt connected to the characters in their own ways, with only 10 minutes of runtime for each episode. In such a short amount of time, they're able to instill those feelings. But apparently they couldn't instill those feelings in you. So I just can't understand how you misunderstood what this series is trying to accomplish. It seems like you went into this hoping you would get an anime with linked episodes and all that, and then you found out it was an anthology and it pissed you off. I don't think you understand the point of an anthology. An anthology is a little peek into a much wider world, but it's still just a peek, you know? And you have to respect that. And you also complained in your review how you felt like all these secret levels were trying to sell you the game. And then you later in your review, you also complained that you felt like they weren't trying to sell you enough. I ask you, make up your mind. Is this a marketing strategy that you like? Is it one that's working on you? Or is it just good media? Good media by people who love those games. And despite all that, you gave it a 5 out of 10. You called it mediocre. I truly believe you have lost your way, IGN. I don't understand how you could even gotten to this point. Look, you aren't always making bad reviews, but your misses have been huge misses lately. 5 years ago, I used to respect and look to IGN reviews as a standard for good games and good media. Nowadays, I find myself disagreeing with you more often than not. I'm not wishing you any ill will, IGN. I want to help. Maybe if you post a review that most people disagree with, I'd love to hear you defend your reviews, even if they're controversial. Come up with a follow-up video. I want to know why you feel the way you do about Secret Level. Show me specifics and examples. No matter what, you guys have to do better. If you're looking for better takes, then you can always subscribe and stick around here. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video. Markiplier says, bye-bye.